Hey coaches, welcome to our Wednesday night coaching call. And if you're listening to this any other time, thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us. This is yours truly, Andrika J. Austin. I go by Coach AJ for short. I want to go ahead and dive into our call. So we are live on Facebook, of course, in our private Facebook group. And of course, we are live on our conference call as well. Shouts out to all the coaches listening right now. Wherever you are, let's inhale and exhale together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. How was your day? I hope it was phenomenal. You're going to love what we're talking about tonight. If you're doing coaching full time, or if you're running it as a side hustle, get ready to incorporate some tips that's going to help you build your brand as a coach. Shouts out to the Boss Network for sharing this on their Instagram page not too long ago. It was a big idea and it helps us to solve a problem as we talk during our coaching call. Again, this is Andrika AJ Austin, founder of thebossof.me, where I love helping coaches confidently convert conversations to clients, cash, checks, and credit cards. Wanted to let you guys know over at fastcoachtraining.com, we have a live personal life coach certification training coming up in Atlanta, Georgia very soon. Head over again to fastcoachtraining.com or send someone you know that way who is ready to become a certified personal life coach. Again, the topic for this coaching call is how to build a brand as a coach. Everything from your content, which is what you say, what you talk about when you show up to talk about your coaching business, all the way to your style. Now, you guys know every week I show up 7:30 p.m. here to chat with you, to give you content. And I love that content, but not just content that starts conversations. And do as I mentioned, go over to cash, checks, and credit cards. That's my favorite type of content. Also, your style, how you deliver. Now, if you've been listening for any length of time, you guys know I'm full of energy. It's all because I'm passionate, but I'm very succinct and to the point. And I like to give you tips that's going to help you build your coaching business to the next level. That's my style. So I need you to be thinking about what type of content you share and what your style is when you share that content. And then the last two categories to consider is engagement. How engaging are you? Now, for those of you who are attending live right now, you know I love my Facebook Livers because you are here with me. You can chat with me. You can ask questions. You can get on the call with me. If you're on the conference line, I can hear your voice. I love that type of one-on-one engagement because the question that you have, someone else has it as well, but they're just afraid to speak up. So if that's you and you're listening to this call right now here with me live and you love the content that I share weekly and you love the style and you love to engage, let's engage toward the end of our call together where I can answer any question you have about building your brand as a coach. And then finally, when you share content, when you deliver it in your own personal coaching style, when you engage with the people who are interested in your coaching content, then you want to throw in your story. Now, for you guys that have been following a while, you know one of my signature coaching programs is Messaging Magic. And Messaging Magic is all about what you say when you sell you. What you say when you sell you and what you do as a coach. But then you do it successfully by sharing your story. And we're going to dive into a couple of tips for how to do that. So again, we got content, style, engagement, and story. Those are 4 things to consider when you start to build your brand as a coach. Now, you're mixing all of these together and you're adding in your own personality. And again, you guys know I'm a little bit hyper. I don't know why I have sugar before these calls because it doesn't help. But I have to keep you alert. I have to keep you alive and going with this content in my own style as we engage and I share pieces of my story. So let me show you what it looks like to start building your coaching brand with what you say, again, which is your content. The first way is through blog posts. Now, many of you may have heard the term repurposing, and I do that every week with the content that I share with you on these coaching calls. So not only is it a Facebook Live audio for my private Facebook group, for my personal Facebook group, it also is a blog post on LinkedIn, a blog post on thebossof.me, and it's on my blogtalkradio.com show over at blogtalkradio.com/boss of me or the boss of me. Can't remember. Maybe it's Boss of Me Radio. Anyway, That is a blog post. So you can take any content that you share with your own little spin and style on it and engage people in a way that not only tells your story, but it's in a form that can be used more than once. It's just starting out as a blog post. So if you're live with me, how many of you have a blog? And just put me, just let me see a little hand wave. You don't have to put your blog title because we're not promoting you right now, but we're seeing how many people have already started to build their coaching brand. So just let me see some hearts, some likes, some thumbs up. Put it in the comments below if you have a blog, because that's number 1 in our 10 steps. Number 2 are books. Now, you can have a book in the form of an ebook, a print book, an audio book, a workbook, whatever type of book where you've taken your coaching content, maybe even some past blog posts, you've shared it in your own style in an engaging way that also incorporates your story, and you've put it together in a little nice package, which is a book. And you guys know I am a book coach where I help you not only share your story, but share it in a way that it becomes a book. You sharing your knowledge, you're leveraging what you know. Again, even if it's just past blog posts, but you're increasing your impact, influence, and income with the information that you're sharing in the form of the book. And guess what you're doing? You're following step 2 of 10 in building your brand as a coach. So you have number 1, your blog post. Now, number 2, a book. The third thing out of 3 ways to build your brand as a coach are your coaching services. Wow, who knew, right? So when you show up and you tell people you're a coach and you tell them what you coach around, for me, I love coaching around speaking, storytelling, and writing a book. And really that's all in one. But I show my clients how to break that down in order to make more money. So what type of coach are you? Think about the coaching services that you offer. Someone asked me a few weeks ago in our private Facebook group what type of coaching there is. And when it comes to providing your coaching services, of course, you have the one-on-one coaching, you have group coaching, you have e-coaching, which is what I love to do, which is coaching by email. I also coach via Facebook inbox, which is the little audio feature or the written feature. However you offer your coaching services, that's a part of building your brand. So for those who have listened to this, and especially if you're listening live, if you've ever coached with me or signed up for one of my products and services over at thebossof.me, you know I'm very engaged. How I show up for you guys weekly on these coaching calls is exactly how I coach my clients, in addition to providing what we now have called Come to Jesus calls. And that's when the client is freaking out and they're saying, AJ, it's so much to do. I want to build my brand as a coach, but what do I do? And we get on the phone and I offer my coaching services because that's what they've signed up for. But they know that at the end of it, they're going to be inspired to continue to build their business through books, through speaking, through telling their story. So I want you to incorporate whatever you do in the form of your coaching services, blog posts, and books, because that's step 3 of 10 ways to build a brand as a coach. Let me see some hearts, likes, and thumbs up if you guys are still with me. And you know I love questions, so get ready to plug those in as we come up to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is videos. Now, we have done a coaching call about how to do live videos successfully. I have coached tons of clients through getting on video, whether it's a 60-second video on Instagram, on your Instagram page, or you do an Instagram story, which is the feature where you can share throughout the day, 10 seconds of videos, or you can do an Instagram live where you get longer time, like we have while we do our Facebook lives and coaching calls. You can also do pre-recorded videos where you show up on things like YouTube. Some people still use the app of Periscope, throw away on video, and it's also a part of building your brand. Even if you show up on video like I do, which is Facebook Live, and it has the audio feature. So it's just your voice, just talking. No one sees you. Maybe they see your logo if you share it, but you have told people through video, through your coaching services, through your books, and through blog posts, your style, and shared your content in an engaging way that incorporates who you are. And you're well on your way to sharing your coaching brand. Number 5 of 10 goes under the category of style. Now, style means how you show up. When I speak, a lot of people say, AJ, I want what you have. You're so confident. And so that's a part of my style. That's what I share when I show up. But that's just one part of it. Not only do you have to have style when you show up, when people go to your website, which I know if you're a new coach, especially if you've gone through the fastcoachtraining.com training with me, the live version here in Atlanta, I always get those questions in class. AJ, what should my website look like now that I'm a certified life coach? What should I put online? Should I do it myself? How many pages should it have? Should I hire somebody? I want to add, and you guys have all these crazy ideas of what you want to do, but it's good because that's where your style comes in the form of your website. So whatever you put in your web design, that's a part of your own style, and it goes into building your brand as a coach. So when people read your blog post, when they read your book, when they hire you for your coaching services, when they've seen you on video, and then when they visited your website, they're seeing a consistent brand starting to build, and you're building your credibility, adding your own personality, including parts of your story, and people are recognizing your brand as a coach. Now, number 6 of 10 is copy. And I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the term copy, but I'll break it down really quick because this is my world. This is where you're sharing emails, you're sharing social media posts. Again, it goes into your blog posts, but mainly it's the reason that you came to this call tonight or you're listening right now. It's a way that you engage people with your own style that gets them interested in you as a coach because they recognize your brand. So you're listening to this right now because I sent you an email, because you've seen a title on a Facebook Live, or because you are engaged in our private Facebook group. That's considered copy. Copy makes people click. And when they click to read, to listen, to view whatever it is that you're sharing, you have to explain and get to the point, sharing your own brand in whatever content you're sharing, but doing it in your own style. So copy is really your voice. It's putting your voice into writing and then sharing that writing again via social media, email, books, however you want to show it. Your copy shows up, which is your voice on paper. That's the easiest way I can explain that term. And that's 6 of 10. And then number 7 of 10 ways to grow your brand as a coach. A lot of people think a brand is just a logo or a tagline or a slogan or a business card. A brand is so much more. We've talked about blog posts. We've talked about books, which are print, audio, workbook, ebooks. We've talked about your coaching services. We've talked about videos. We've talked about your website design. We've talked about copy. Logo is number 7 on the list. So why is it the number one thing that comes to mind when people think about building a brand? The logo can be either your picture with a nice tagline or slogan, if that's what you choose. One of my favorite logos are text logos. That's where you see the pretty color font. Maybe you see pink font or gold font or purple font to make it fun, especially if you're a woman in business. Now, guys, I don't know if you would choose purple, pink, or gold, but however those logo colors, that font color show up, that's considered a text logo. Now you can also, do a little caricature. You'll see people with symbols. There are different ways to do a logo. And what I would advise, if you have the resources, which I know you do because you're a coach, you believe in your business and you want people to hire you. So you have to invest in hiring someone else. I would advise you to hire out a logo design service to get going. Unless you're really creative like me and you can sit still and get creative and come up with your own colors and see how you want your logo designed. Or even if you just sketch it out and then share it later on with the professional and let them take it from there just to get the idea out of your head on the paper and let the logo designer get it into action, but make it look professional. Okay. So that's again, number 7 of 10. Then number 8 of 10 ways to build your brand as a coach goes under the category of engagement. Now, this gets into how you talk to people when you show up with that copy, with your logo, with the font. Starting with number 8, social media. What are you saying on your social media page? Is it just what you ate for today? Is it just something about your kids? Unless you're a food blogger or a food coach or health and nutrition coach or you're a parenting coach, I would advise against only food pictures or pictures of your kids. Now, I have this weird technique that I recently discovered just by looking at my friends list on Facebook. And I said, you know what? I noticed the pictures that show up on people's social media page reflects what they care about the most. Let me say that again slowly. What picture you have on your social media page, even just your profile picture, reflects what you love the most, which means that's also where your heart is. So are you sharing about your coaching business? Are you sharing blog posts? Are you telling people about your new book or one that's coming? Are you telling people on social media that you are a coach and what kind of coach? What your videos look like? Are you sharing helpful tips to help them in whatever area that you coach around? Are you sharing your website with interesting copy and your beautiful new logo that's professionally designed? That's part of your engagement on social media, which is 8 of 10 ways to build your coaching business. Now, guys, we are approaching number 10. If you have questions and you're live with me here, go ahead and put them in the discussion box, the comments below. Ask away, okay? And even after we're no longer live, I will be happy to come back and engage with you about building your brand as a coach and give you additional tips that I know that can help you take your business to the next level. By the way, we have a resource that's coming up on tip number 10 because there was a teaser in our title for tonight's topic. And to get the secret to the answer for tip number 10 in your own business, I want to encourage you to head over to bit.ly/coaching secret. Again, bit.ly/coaching secret. That's a resource that I've put together to help you put our tip number 10 into place for you and take your business to the next level, but only if you're ready. Okay. I only like sharing information that's going to help you go to the next level. So let me see some questions popping up in these comments, guys, because I am excited about this topic, as you guys can tell. All right. So we have 2 tips left. Let me do a recap. Tip number 1, your content. That's the category, and blog posts, books, coaching services, and videos fall under that category. Category number 2 was your style, everything from your website design to your copy and your logo. And then category number 3 is your engagement, everything from social media to tip number 9, which is speaking engagements. Now, I speak to a lot of you guys and you say, AJ, I want to speak. I want to tell my story. I want to get out. I want to get paid. What are some ways that you're incorporating your brand as a coach in the form of speaking engagements? What that means is, how do you show up when you go out to speak? What are you discussing? What are you sharing with people? Are you selling a book? Are you getting people to sign up for your email list? This is how you engage. And the only way you engage successfully in your coaching business and building your brand is to make sure that your message is consistent when you show up to speak. Now, I know a lot of you guys may have heard some of these tips before, but what I love to do is go back to the basics of when I first started building my coaching business to say, AJ, what else is it that you know you need to have in place to help you take your business to the next level? That's what you need to ask yourself as a coach, because while you may have started some of these, like a lot of people will start a blog and they'll give up, go back and visit your practice as a coach. Are all of these things in line already? Are you keeping them up? Are they consistent with your brand as a coach? All right. And finally, tip number 10, which is interviews. Interviews go kind of along with speaking events, but your speaking events should lead to interviews. Everything from a podcast interview, a radio interview, a television interview. Maybe you're even on the newspaper, the front page, maybe the front cover of a magazine, where people are asking you about being a coach. How you show up in that interview is a part of your brand as a coach. Okay. So you're sharing what you know in those interviews, and then you're incorporating parts of your story. So here's a bonus. We can make this tip 11 really quick. But as a bonus, when you're giving interviews and you're showing up to events to speak and you're on social media and you're designing your website and you're incorporating copy and that beautiful professionally designed logo, and you're doing videos and sharing about your coaching services in your books and your blog posts, make sure that you never leave out why you do what you do. That's called your story. That goes into something that I teach called messaging magic. But you always want to talk about your journey to where you are now. Trust me, everyone has a story, and it doesn't have to be rags to riches. You don't have to do what a lot of people talk about, living in a van beside the river. But everyone has a moment that they realized why they want to do what they now do as a coach. So I advise you to think through your story. That's category number 4. But in your story, put your journey to being a coach. What was that like? So for example, It took me about 15 years to graduate college, but I did it. Mercer University, class of 2016. And then about 10 years ago, I was leaving divorce court and I was walking down the hall to get on the elevator, and then my phone began to ring. I picked it up, got on the elevator, the doors began to close, and I seen my now ex-husband for the last time. I said hello, and it was my cousin telling me that my mom had just passed. Now I'm going to leave you with this as it relates to this story. I've told you about college. I've told you about not marriage, but getting a divorce. And I've told you about my cousin calling me that same day. It's like I signed on the dotted line and my mom passed. All of this is a part of my story that led to a business building blessing. Now you're wondering, how could a death and a divorce and not graduating college right away, how could that all have to do with her brand as a coach? Head over to thebossself.me, found out more. If we're already connected here on Facebook, you've probably seen a video I shared recently where I share my story, but it's in a compelling way that gets you to engage with me on social media, at speaking events, during interviews, on my website. All of my story, and yours too, should be included in everything that you share to help you build your brand as a coach. And the final tip that I want to share with you as it relates to your story is not just incorporate your story and your journey to becoming a coach. Make sure you include your clients' stories as well. So testimonials, case studies, how you help someone get from where they are to where they were when they hired you to where they wanted to be. Include that in your story. So those are the 10 tips. And then as a bonus, you want to put all of that together to form a product as a coach. Now, if you need help formulating a product, I've put together a simple resource for you over at bit.ly/coaching secret. Again, bit.ly/coaching secret. It helps you to put together your first or your next product successfully in a way that incorporates all 10 of these tips. Everything from a part of your journey and your story to what you've done successfully for your clients as a coach, down to what to say on an interview and how to answer these questions based on this coaching product that you build, so that when you show up on social media and speaking events and on your website, you'll have that right copy that reflects a professional brand as a coach, along with your videos introducing your coaching services, your books, and then encouraging people to stay connected with you on your blog. So I'm hoping that these tips have blessed you. Again, you've all heard about blog posts and books and what to do. You probably already have this list of 10 things written down somewhere already. But again, I encourage you to go back to the basics. Is your current blog, website, book, videos, are they consistent with what you really do as a coach? Because that, my dear coaches, is how you build a successful brand as a coach, by incorporating these 10 tips successfully and consistently, and making sure that they line up with what your actual work as a coach reflects. So I want to take some time to scroll through Facebook Live and let me see if we have any questions. What questions do you guys have for me about building your brand as a coach? Now, I see some me's from earlier because I asked people had they started a blog, and Shantae and Jennifer said that they have. Let me see if anyone else has commented. So congratulations, guys, on having a blog. What I did recently with my blog was went back through all the posts again to make sure that they were consistent with what I should be doing as a coach right now. So shouts out to Jennifer Taylor, Michelle English, Shayla Bell, Tiffany Ansley, Shantae Fluker. Who else is hanging out with us? Hey, Tara, thanks for joining. B. Walisha, Gail Walker, Kimberly, Teresa, Sonia, Andrea, Wanda, Lisa, Victor, and Dr. V. I appreciate you guys for showing up. Who has questions? I'm going to go ahead and go to our conference line and open up the call right now. We're doing Q&A. All right, conference line. So the Q&A session has started. If you have a question, press *6 to be placed in queue to come on live. Now, I told you guys I love engagement, so ask me a question if you have it. If not, you can always post it in the comment or discussion box below this video, below this coaching call, and we'll come back and continue the discussion. All right, so conference line again, *6 to be placed in queue. I'll give you guys a few more seconds. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. You know I appreciate you. And I don't see any more questions Facebook Live. I don't see anyone in queue on our conference call. So I will leave you with this. There is someone somewhere waiting on you, dear coach, to walk into your destiny so that they can walk into theirs. Because it's when you let your light shine that you give others permission to do the same. I am Coach Andrika J. Austin. I go by Coach AJ for short. Head over to bit.ly/coaching secret to get your own answer for the secret bonus tip that I shared with you during our coaching call. I look forward to seeing you back here this time next week. Same time, same place. And until then, enjoy the rest of your day. God bless. Bye-bye.